Most dropshippers will be completely broke in just 90 days, while the few that actually study how to do marketing properly will be making money for the rest of their life. Ironically enough, with this same exact products. Welcome to the only marketing class you'll ever need in your life. I'm about to show you guys how I've built literally 7 and even 8-figure dropshipping brands with these same marketing strategies I'm about to give you for free. And it's funny because 99% of dropshippers don't even know these exist. And trust me guys, you'll not find this information anywhere else on the internet. It's not taught in colleges or it's not taught by other finance gurus. It's literally unique to me and the people that know what they're doing. Here is the brutal truth. Out of the 100 people who try dropshipping, at least 97 of them fail horribly. They chase viral products, burn ad accounts, and they don't even know how to price their products properly, so it's just a race to the bottom with slim margins. Then your ad account's going down left and right. There's no consistency with the way people are doing it. But then there's a small group of people who approach this dropshipping game way differently. We don't compete on price. We don't worry about Amazon. And we certainly don't worry about finding the next winning product and the next winning product and the next winning product and so on and so forth. Instead, we build brands that customers actually love, maintain 20 to 30% profit margins and scaling to upwards of 7 figures a month, just like myself. If you guys don't believe me, I'll put my results all over the screen so you guys can see. We've been making over $1 million a month with dropshipping for the longest time now. It's been years since I've seen my daily dashboard go under 100K a day, and honestly, I know the game really well. Now, the difference between a guy like me and a guy that doesn't see success with dropshipping always boils down to the marketing. And in the next couple hours, I'm going to give you the exact framework on how we've been able to use these marketing strategies to make literally over $35 million with e-commerce and dropshipping. And I'm not going to hold anything back. You're going to learn the exact ad framework and how to turn cold audience into an actual buyer. You're going to learn how to sell your product for 3 to 5x the price of what you get it for. You're going to learn landing page psychology so you can actually make money from your website and it just doesn't become unprofitable when you drive traffic to it. We're going to be going over email and SMS marketing, how we leverage that to stay consistent, and also the scaling roadmap we use to go from 0 to 100K a month to upwards of $1 million a month as well. Fair warning though, if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme or some fast way to make money overnight, this video is not for you. Building a real business takes work. I'm not going to sit here and teach you guys some scammy method to make money online, whereas this is actually legitimate business. You're going to be learning how to market properly, and these skills can translate into other companies later down the line. But if you're serious about learning a business that can actually generate wealth, a business and skill set that can change your life, be sure to grab some popcorn, take some notes, and enjoy the video. Overview of this marketing course. To start off with, understanding what matters. So what are we going to go over in this course? I'll break it down for you guys so you kind of know what to expect. And this is in no particular order. However, everything here is very important, and I highly recommend you guys watch this video throughout. Because the thing is, just to know some of these things will do disservice to not knowing the other things, right? So when you understand the whole picture, you kind of know what direction you're going towards. Even though some of these things you want to focus on at the beginning, you want to understand everything, right? So first things first is we're going to be going over angles and avatars. I'll be talking to you guys about what angles to focus on, how to understand marketing angles and why it's so important. And on top of that, what different avatars you guys want to focus on and why is that important when it comes to making your ads, right? The second part and one of the most important parts of this video is going to be creatives. If you guys have been following any of my other content, you know that I'm so head over heels for having the best creatives in the game. I could not preach creatives more. Guys, marketing in 2025, 2026, whenever you're watching this video, it is a content game. Whoever has the best content will win. And the issue with most people is they understand that, but they don't understand what makes the best content. It's not what you think it is. And in this video, I'll explain exactly what actually makes the best content that gets the purchases. Again, this is probably one of the most important sections of the video, so I highly recommend watch that. 3 here is going to be media buying. I'm going to be talking about my secret sauce, my secret media buying strategy that has allowed me to do over $35 million in sales because, guys, I've tested everything when it comes to media buying. I truly believe the strategy I have works better than anyone else's, and if you guys have this too, your life will be a lot easier. Media buying is also more than just a strategy you use. We're going to be talking about what platforms you guys want to run your ads on, what type of ads you guys want to run. So how do you want to launch your creatives? What's the best way to do it? Also, how to track your ads properly. Not a lot of people know, but tracking in 2025 and so forth has been basically cooked. And if you don't have the right resources or even know of the right resources, you won't see any success. Also very important, but the mentality you need to have when doing your media buying, because you need to get into a specific mindset mindset that's going to help you grow and help you actually see success. For the fourth section here, we're going to be going over influencer and UGC marketing. So we'll be talking about how to get influencers, how to get UGC creators. If you guys don't know what UGC means, we'll explain it in the video, but basically just how to source these creators and how to actually build an influencer like of your company, because a lot of people overlook this. But if you're trying to build a business that can one day exit or that actually has consistent revenues, you need to understand the creator economy and you need to understand this game. And once you do, everything will become a lot easier. And this is one of my favorite sections too, because no one else talks about it, especially in the dropshipping niche. And on top of that as well, let's say some of you guys end up stemming off from doing dropshipping or e-commerce, understanding influencer and UGC marketing can literally be a game changer for whatever business you get into, whatever that be selling software, to having a B2B business, to having a dropshipping store, whatever it may be. This is a game changer. Last but not least, we have organic marketing. So organic marketing, we're going to be going over basic stuff like how to post on your brand pages, how to build up those pages, but also how to spread between multiple pages. Similar to how streamers do clipping pages and they have that whole aspect of their business, we're going to be talking about how you can use that same system in e-commerce and dropshipping. So anybody who wants that aggressive edge over other people when it comes to organic marketing, this is the section for you. Again, you're not going to find that anywhere else on the internet, especially in the dropshipping niche, because again, nobody really talks about this type of stuff because it doesn't get people to click on their video. But without getting off topic here, let's get straight into it. Section 1 here is going to be angles and avatars. Why is this important? Well, in the game of marketing, just in general, you guys can either focus on trying to market everything or just trying to market the things that actually will bring you money. I found the best way to teach people this is to actually teach them what not to do rather than what to do. When it comes to angles, right? A lot of people don't realize, but your life will be a lot easier when you just focus on winning angles and you understand what people actually want. For example, there's a great saying, and I'm going to pull it up for you guys right now. So this is actually something I saw on my feed not too long ago, and I thought it was really applicable to the start of this video, especially when we talk about winning angles, right? It is the easiest ways to make money online. First one, men's lust. Second, women's desire for beauty. Third, elderly health. Fourth, children's education. Fifth, rich people's fear of loss. And sixth, poor people's desire to get quickly rich. Now, the reason why that's so monumental is because in the game of business, right, we're going to go really broad here, guys. You can pick any route. Now, even if we niche that down to just drop shipping, still in drop shipping, you can pick any niche, and niching it down even more in niches, you can pick any product, and in any product, you can pick any angle, and any angle, you can pick any creative. So you guys can see how deep it goes. And if you guys pick angles that don't necessarily have good results backing them, meaning they don't have other brands that are using that same angle for their product line, then you shouldn't even waste your time with them. The whole point of this section is for me to tell you guys that don't waste your time with angles that just don't work or haven't proven to work before. And obviously, I'm going to show you some of the examples that I've used, some of the angles that I've done for my brands that you can do for your brands as well. But the thing is, when it comes to angles, the main game is to just focus on what you already know that works. So just to throw you guys a bone here, I can tell you off the bat that weight loss and helping people with their weight is one of the best marketing angles out there right now. And you only want to sell products within that angle. The second angle can be something along the lines of beauty. So hair care, having longer and better hair is great. Another angle that's very important that is actually mentioned on the example I gave earlier was lust, and that goes both ways. So lust for women and lust for men. So for example, one of my initial winning products that I sold back in the day was a carnelian stone. And this stone basically helped women attract men. This product we made over $1 million profit with. And it was only because we had that winning angle behind all our creatives. There's a lot more like this, but the main ideology here is you guys want to work backwards, meaning that understand winning angles and just do your business within those winning angles. So in the example of dropshipping, focus on product research within those niches. When it comes to marketing, whatever it be, coming up with creatives or coming up with ad ideas, focus on winning angles. And when you're coming up with creatives or trying to make creatives for your store, creatives being your ads, always work backwards in the sense where what angle is in this ad, what angle is in this video, and let me just work backwards and make more like that. And if that angle doesn't work, now you can move on to the next. And it's crazy how this stuff works, guys, because I've been preaching this for the last couple of years of my life, but recently TikTok Shop has blown up. And if you go to calidata.com or any sort of TikTok Shop ad platform where they track all the top listings, you'll see that all the top listings on TikTok Shop are literally all between the same type of angles, whatever that be men's lust, whatever that be women's beauty, whatever that be weight loss. It's always the same type of angles. So do with that information as you will. If I were you guys, I would go straight to TikTok Shop, See what angles are doing really well for other people and use those same exact angles when you're doing product research, when you're making ads, because you know people are buying off those angles. What this does for you guys is it helps eliminate a lot of useless work, meaning spending time on products or creatives that might not be justified by a winning angle. A good example of an angle that I feel is not a winning angle because it hasn't been proven is something like more energy, right? A lot of people might think, oh, like having more energy is a really, really good angle and like people would love to buy that. Whereas you'll have an easier time focusing on another angle like libido or something more aggressive because that's what actually drives a lot more purchases and that's what more people are buying on platforms like TikTok Shop, Amazon, Shopify, etc. A big factor about winning angles is understanding that most winning angles are backed by some sort of insecurity. What I found out after doing years of dropshipping and being years in ecom was that everyone buys off insecurity and the game is built off impulse purchases. So to get someone to impulsively buy your product or even a service, let's say you're not even dropshipping and you're watching this video, you need to spark some sort of insecurity. Insecurities are what drive most of the purchases. So that's why, for example, you look at like Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate with the Real World or university.com, whatever it's called now, he's doing one of the winning angles that I explained to you guys earlier, being poor people desire to get rich quickly. He's telling poor people, or just the average person, that you need to make money now. You need to make money now. If you don't make money now, you're cooked. You need money coming in or else you're screwed. You need it, right? If you don't get rich quick now, he's establishing fear that everything's going to go wrong. That's why it sells so well. Same thing with products, right? You want to find what that insecurity is that that person has. For example, weight loss. It's like, hey, like you don't have to go to the gym and be embarrassed at the gym anymore. You can just take this supplement and we'll lose weight. That angle and that aggressiveness backed by insecurity is how you find success. So just know when it comes to marketing, it's not about your media buying strategy. It's not about your creatives, which again, we will go over. A lot of it does depict on your angles. And if I just started this video off and went straight into like, okay, here's the winning creative format, here's the winning media buying format, and this is what you need to do, you guys would be at a loss because if you don't understand angles, which is really important, all this other information is obsolete and it goes in and out of date. For example, angles will stay consistent forever. Another part of angles is how moldable are your marketing angles. For example, weight loss. If you're selling a weight loss supplement, that could be said in a million different ways, right? So for example, if I'm selling a weight loss supplement, I can have a creative that says this weight loss supplement will be the best replacement for the gym. That's one way of saying it. This weight loss supplement will allow you to eat whatever you want. You can still stay in shape. That's another way. This weight loss supplement will make you lose more weight than a marathon. That's another way of saying it. There's a lot of different ways to say weight loss, and that's what makes it a moldable angle. That's why I love this angle. When you guys are selling a product online and you depict on what angle you're using, try and make it moldable, meaning focus on angles that you can twist and turn in different ways, right? Because the consistency of this game is depicted on how you repackage the same thing. Meaning if you're selling any sort of product that has a good angle, I'll give you guys another example because I know I used weight loss a couple times here. If you're selling like the carnelian stone that we did a couple years back, we didn't just say like, this will help you attract men. We spinned it on its head. We said, hey, this is going to help you get your ex back. That was our winning angle, honestly, one of our winning ones. After getting the stone, you can't walk up and down the street anymore because guys will just approach you too much. Another angle. I remember we also had a winning creative that went extremely viral, and that was something along the lines of, don't quote me on this because it's been a while, but it was, we should be giving away pepper spray with every stone we sell because the amount of guys that are going to chase you after buying this is insane, right? So stuff like creative stuff like that you're just molding the same angle is really important. And the issue with most people when they get into dropshipping, they think, oh, I need to be an amazing marketer and I need to be this like godfather of a marketer. No, that's not the case. You just need to know what angles work. Understand that it's the angle working and not the product. So already you have that depiction of what's actually happening. And then you just twist and mold the angle as many times as you can. Whereas being creative without understanding what to focus on is literally impossible. But when you're being creative within a sub niche, being this one angle, it becomes a lot easier, right? So just breaking it down into small steps. But again, having moldable angles is monumentally important to actually seeing success with your marketing. Again, when it comes to the creatives, when it comes to the media buying, this stuff is important. If you don't understand that, hey, exist in only winning angles, and then two, make sure you're able to mold your angles and you're able to portray them in a million different ways. Just by having those two things set up, you're going to see a lot more success. Avatars are a main component of understanding how to make this game work. When a lot of people have the misconception when they're selling products online, whatever it be on the creative aspect or even the media buying aspect, or even finding influencers or UGC creators, they focus on avatars that they think their customer wants to be. What I mean by that, Like, say you're selling a weight loss product, they think they need skinny people in their ads because if someone that was fat saw a skinny person, they think, okay, this product works. Whereas that is the normal or general mentality of most of these weight loss supplements and whatnot. That's not what you guys want to do. You need to sell using avatars that look like your customer. What I mean by that is, if you're selling a weight loss product, have someone that is not overweight, but kind of on their way there to being your creative, and that do way better than having a skinny person in it because the customer can relate to that person. Same thing with any other product. We have a hair care brand. Some of the best creatives that we've scaled with this hair care brand are literally people that don't have that much hair. And they're like, oh, I don't have that much hair, but I started using this product. It's going really well. Like, this is my journey, blah, blah, blah. That did really well because the customer is relating the person in the video. Focus on avatars that your customer can relate to. And when you're doing angle research for your product test or for a product that is actively scaling, actually making money, understand who the avatar is that's working for you, who the avatar is that's working for other people, and try to focus around those avatars. There was literally a time before in the hair care brand that I mentioned earlier that we made a really clear assumption that most of the people that were buying our product were Black. And the reason that we were able to make that assumption is because out of all the creatives that we tested, the ones with the Black creators did the best. So just by focusing on only getting Black creators and focusing on videos that had only Black people in it, we actually saw a lot more success. And this is something I don't really like to talk about too much because people might think, oh, I'm racist or something, but look, it's just marketing at the end of the day. It was Black people that are buying the product. We put more Black people in our ads and it did better because we understood those were the people that were buying our product. It was literally the difference between being at like a 1.92 ROAS to getting upwards of a 3 ROAS at scale just by changing the avatar we had in our creatives. So it was the same angle, just a different avatar. This is a little bit of higher level, but I really wanted to talk about this as the first section because if I get into the nitty gritty of your creative, of your media buying and all that stuff, a lot of you guys might feel a little bit disconnected because having an overarching view of focusing on winning angles, understanding the importance of a customer avatar will make this game a lot easier to play. Remember, the avatar that's going to work the best for you is the one that looks the most like your customer, not the one that your customer wants to look the most like. Now, this is going to be the second and most important part of this video, and that is creatives. Now, I honestly could make a whole video about this, and I actually have before, but I wanted to incorporate this in the marketing masterclass because this is everything. And I wanted to start this video off talking about the angles and avatars so we could all be on the same page on what type of angles you want to focus on and what type of avatars sell. Just by understanding that, it's going to make the rest of this video go by way smoother. But creatives are everything, guys. I mean, a lot of people overlook how important it is. I know a lot of you guys might have clicked on this video because you're looking for that secret media buying strategy or that secret organic marketing strategy or whatever it may be, but that's not how it works. Creatives are everything. And the reason I know that is because, again, I've done over $35 million in just the dropshipping niche. And I can tell you guys for a fact, when you have a winning creative, it doesn't matter if you put it on TikTok ads. It doesn't matter if you put it on Snapchat ads. Doesn't matter if you put it on Meta ads, Pinterest ads, even Twitter ads, now that's become more popular, it will work. Winning content shines through, and a good mentor of mine once told me, you don't scale ads, you scale content. Now, I'm going to make this really clear, guys. We only focus on paid media. Yes, as you build a brand online, yes, as you have an e-commerce and dropshipping store, whatever it may be, organic marketing does become important later. And then one of the most important parts of marketing is paid media, and paid media goes hand in hand with creatives. Assuming you guys already understand what angles to focus on and how angles and avatars go hand in hand, like we talked about earlier, the next best thing to focus on, the most important thing, is going to be creatives. So what to expect? First things first, again, this is going to be the most important and, ironically enough, the longest section of this video. I'm going to be talking about what makes a winning creative, different editing styles, how to do the editing yourself, and what to actually focus on when it comes to creatives. We're going to be talking about where to get the content from, how to rip properly, and overall just everything in general with creative. I'm going to give you some real life examples of bad creatives and good creatives so you can literally use these examples in your day-to-day testing, scaling, whatever you may be. Regardless, this is the most important part for marketing. It's so funny that you'll never see this type of stuff in like college or other YouTube videos because nobody shines light to how important creatives are. It's honestly boring information. Don't get me wrong. If I could tell you guys that there was a secret media buying strategy and you launch your ads in this certain way, you're going to make a crap ton of money, I would. And I would love to say that because some of you guys would buy into that BS. But that's not the case. It's just not how it works. I've tried every media buying strategy on the planet, and don't get me wrong, later in this video, we will talk about media buying, but it's not nearly as important as creative. Now, mind you, before we even start to talk about creatives, you need to understand that the angles are the most important thing. If you guys understand winning angles and you're only focusing on products and ads within those winning angles, this will make this a lot easier. The The angle and avatar you pick will make your creative hit rate higher or lower. And I want you guys to remember that. For example, it's going to be a lot easier to find winning creatives in the weight loss niche than in the home decor niche. Vice versa, it's going to be extremely hard to find winning creatives if you're selling chairs to elderly men versus if you're selling weight loss to middle-aged moms in the US. Just understanding that some angles work better than others just makes this a lot easier. And you guys are in complete control. So you can pick to play this game on hard mode or to play this game on easy mode. Easy mode being better angles. Now, I said something really important earlier, and I want to just go over that. No matter where you launch a winning creative, it will work. There's been countless times in my dropshipping journey where we found a creative that just printed. It did really well. Maybe we edited some creatives up. Maybe we did something to existing creative, whatever it may be. It was just printing. We launched it on Meta and it was doing great. We took that same piece of content, we launched it on TikTok. It was doing great. We took that same piece of content, we launched it on YouTube. So even though YouTube is horizontal, we still launched a vertical video on there, still did great. Same thing with Twitter ads. Doesn't matter where you put the piece of content. Even if that platform is not optimized for that piece of content, it will still work. And a lot of people overlook that because they're like, oh, this media buying strategy only works for Pinterest. It's not going to work for Facebook. Oh, that same media buying strategy is not going to work for TikTok. It doesn't matter. Your creatives will work universally, and that is the main component of finding a winning creative. Does it work universally? Now, what depicts a winning creative? Again, it's working throughout all platforms, but it is wildly profitable. Like, this video is not going to be about like selecting a product or understanding unit economics or any of the basic stuff. We are solely focusing on marketing. However, good marketing just means profitable marketing. So in simplicity stakes, let's say you're getting a product for $10, selling it for $20. What is your cost per acquisition? What is your CPA? As long as your CPA is putting you in profit, that means it's a winning creative. Most of our brands, we have a 1.3 to 1.4 break-even ROAS. And I'll talk about these metrics in the media buying section, but just stick with me here. Meaning that as long as we're over a 1.3 to 1.4 ROAS, aka return on ad spend, we are profitable. A winning creative to us is ideally 1 point above our break-even ROAS. So that's either going to be a 2.3 to a 2.4. If a creative is spending well, meaning we're adding more budget to the campaign and it keeps spending profitably on that creative at a 1 point over our break-even ROAS, that's a winning creative, and it usually is going to stay consistent between any platform we launch it on. So that's it. Winning creative is literally just a profitable creative. Profitable at a decent high spend. A lot of you guys might have the misconception. We launch a creative, the first day it's doing well, no matter wherever you launch a media buying on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, doesn't matter. Does well the first day, then it dies the second day. That doesn't mean it's a good creative, right? So consistently, I'll talk about 3 days, and we'll talk about more about metrics, but consistently doing well at a 1 point over your break-even ROAS means it's a good creative. Now, when you're testing a product with dropshipping, or let's say even you're scaling a product with dropshipping, there's really only a couple places you can get content from. Content, creatives, ads, they all mean the same thing, but the raw content itself only comes from a select few places. Obviously, you can rip it from TikTok. A lot of you guys know, take content from TikTok and use it for your own. And ripping is the art of its own. Understanding how to rip content properly, how to use the right keyword searching are all things that a lot of people overlook that we'll talk about in this video. You can get content from competitors going on ad libraries like Facebook Ad Library or TikTokAdLibrary.com. You can find content from competitors and use that for your own videos, which is again another form of ripping. Or lastly, you can make the content on your own, either with yourself. So you literally order the product to yourself and you make the content, which we'll talk about here. You can send it to UGC creators, which again we'll talk about. Or third, you can use AI tools, which will be a really important part about this video that I'll get into. I'm very excited to get into it as well. Again, there's a lot of different ways to get content. So let's start from the very beginning, which is ripping. Now, a lot of people will recommend you to rip ads from your competitor and just launch those same ads and hope it works. That is the worst form of marketing, and I advise everyone not to do that. It can be very hard to see success if you rip directly from your competitor and just launch it on the same ad platform. What I'm referring to here is you saw a Meta ad for, let's say, a weight loss supplement, and you took that exact same ad and you launched it on your store ads manager, same exact thing, and you think, okay, if it's working for them, it's gonna work for me. That's just not how it works, guys. Marketing is, a lot of it is copying, more so of emulation, where you take inspiration from people and you can do different things with a piece of content, which we'll talk about. But ripping a video one-to-one is never recommended, and it just really doesn't work. Now, don't get me wrong, there might be times where you see some success, but is that success going to be consistent? Hell no. It will never be consistent, and it's not really worth the time. Now, for me, I found a lot of winning creatives in the ripping side of things when just going to TikTok and trying different keywords. For example, and I've given this example before, but it's helped a lot of different people. If you're selling a carnelian stone, which is one of my first winning products I talk about in this video right here, if you're selling a carnelian stone, you can go on TikTok and look up carnelian stone and see some videos that you can use for your ads. Or you can look up carnelian crystal, maybe some other videos pop up. Or you can look up love carnelian stone, or you can look up carnelian. There's a lot of different ways you can type that product into TikTok to get a bunch of different content. So when you're ripping, you might see some ads or some potential ads that no one else is seeing when they're ripping the product. This gives you a huge unfair advantage over other people because you're just finding content that they aren't. Mind you guys, you have winning creatives and now winning products. So just by this small edge of seeing more content than other people, you're already ahead of the curve. When ripping content, there's a million different ways to go about identifying if this is a piece of content worth ripping. The best advice I can give you is the content, and this is very simple, the content that has the most likes, has the most shares, the most impressions, typically is what you want to be ripping. It's very rare that a video hasn't gone somewhat viral or has some decent engagement that I will use for ad and it will get profitable sales. Typically, a winning piece of content does well organically. That's why it does well as an ad. So it's universal that, hey, this piece of content people like, let me just use it for an ad. And yes, there's been times before where I ripped an organic video off of TikTok. I launched it as an ad where no one has done it before and it's worked. And that is a night and day difference from just taking videos from competitors and using those same ads in your ad. Mind you, when an organic video has not been launched before, it is not an ad, it's just an organic video. So if you're the first person to make an ad out of that, even if it's ripping, which again is your choice if you can go down that route or not, it still will work. Now, the best case scenario with ripping is you rip a handful of videos, you use different videos to edit them together, and we'll explain editing here in a second, and you launch them as different creative styles. This is the quickest way to see success. It's the easiest way to see success. And honestly, it's what I've seen the most success with when testing a product or even scaling a product. You're taking the mindset of being a little bit unethical by stealing the videos and ripping them, but you're also editing them together so you have a unique piece of content that isn't yet known to these ad platforms. And guys, there is a buffet of content out there for you to use when it comes to these different products. As long as you're selecting the right products, there's going to be a lot of content available. It's actually one of the things we talk about in my other video where we go over all the steps needed for winning product research. And that is some of the best products will have the most content, right? Because again, I'll say this a lot. You have winning creatives, you don't have winning products. Now let's paint the hypothetical picture here. Let's say you got all your creatives together, you went on TikTok, you ripped up a bunch of videos and you have, let's say 20 or 30 videos, right? How do you go about editing? Now, editing is so much easier than people think. I have literally edited creatives that have made me over $1 million on the toilet. I'm not even kidding. CapCut is a game changer. Anybody can do it. I know people that have edited $1 million creatives on TikTok while driving their car. It's so easy. It's not about the actual editing framework of like, oh, hey, I'm going to make this transition, this animation. No, that doesn't really work. It's about just putting the right clips together. Editing is honestly the wrong word to use. I like to just call it mashing clips together. And it would be a disservice for me to sit here and show you like a full-fledged editing tutorial because again, it's not really applicable to how this game actually works. Editing can be done on TikTok. You can do it on your phone. It's really just positioning the right clips together. I honestly recommend people to use CapCut or use TikTok and just edit it like a normal TikTok. You guys will see this more when I show you examples here in a second. But the best ads, the best creatives just look like TikToks. That's really all it is. Ever since TikTok became more popular, the game has completely changed. Back in the day, I remember we used to have to make VSLs with stock footage and crazy copywriting, and these videos would go upwards of 5 to even 10 minutes. It would take us hours. We have to find different copywriters to do this whole thing, and it was such a process. Now, I know guys that are still doing that, seeing some success, but the game has changed, and it's changed for the better. You literally just have to have videos that look like TikToks, that look organic to the platform, and they will print. That's why there's been times before where we literally just ripped a video from, again, TikTok organic, and it's like some sort of stitch or something very basic, and we launch it as an ad, and it printed because it's organic to the platform, and most people can't even tell it's an ad. That's why you're seeing these TikTok shop videos do so well, because they look so organic to the platform. And just a side note, that's why I think e-com has never been easier, because again, okay, VSLs are out of date, but what's in date? It's organic videos that only take like a minute to edit. Now, most people might be extremely overwhelmed when they have a bunch of ripped videos and they're like, okay, now how do I edit this together? Even though I explained it's pretty simple, you just have to put clips together. Most people will be kind of confused. I'm like, okay, what clips do I put together? What do I do? Although we do go in extreme detail with this with our students and whatnot on our weekly calls, you guys click on the YouTube video, so I'll throw you a bone here. There's a lot of different winning creative styles that do really well. So here's the game. You know the winning formats. These winning formats not only work for people that like in our program, but people universally. You look at the winning formats, you use them as skeletons, and you work backwards when you're editing your videos. Meaning, and this will make a lot of sense with this example, is a winning format like hook plus body. This is legitimately a format that I've made millions off of. And when I say millions, millions in profit. Like, I'm not even kidding, guys. Hook plus body is super simple. You have an aggressive hook, right? It grabs attention. The whole point of the hook is just to grab attention. And then you have a body that basically explains the product. The psychology behind this format is the hook is aggressive and it makes a bold claim, whatever it be, visual or non-visual. And the body backs up that claim. That's all it is. So an example that I've given before, and I love to give it again because it's my favorite example. We had a carnelian stone creative, right? So the same product I talked about earlier, we had a carnelian stone creative that literally put us on the map and made us $1 million. And that creative was very simple. It was a hook of a girl saying something along the lines like, I wear the carnelian stone and my ex will not stop talking. He keeps texting me. Very aggressive hook. And the body is, it's like a stitch. I don't know if you guys know TikTok stitches, but it's just like a stitch. It cuts right to the video of the girl being like, so I bought the stone and I can vouch for what happened, blah, 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 right? So even though that video was completely ripped and we didn't intentionally make it a hook plus body, naturally, all TikTok videos that are stitches are hook plus body. You kind of see the correlation between how organic videos and paid media videos go hand in hand. All stitch videos are hook plus body. So this video was a hook plus body and it absolutely crushed it. Don't get me wrong. We rinsed the crap out of this formula. Every product that I've seen success with has seen some sort of success with hook plus body. Whatever it be, weight loss. Here's a great example. You can have a hook, a weight loss transformation of somebody going like before and after. And mind you, this is a little bit unethical, but you guys take this with a grain of salt. It doesn't even have to be a transformation for your product. It could just be a random transformation you found online. You use that as a hook. And then the body is somebody talking about that particular product. And mind you, it's bonus points if the person is holding up the product in the body. The hook acts as an aggressive testimonial and the body acts as more of a team, calm testimonial to back up what was said in the hook. And it's really easy. At the end of the creative, you can just slap on 50% off on our website, like text on the screen, which we'll show you here in a second. And that's why I said earlier, guys, it's kind of a disservice for me to show you like a editing tutorial on this or put like a 2-hour tutorial on just editing because anybody can do that. And as long as you have TikTok or CapCut on your phone, it's really simple. I didn't want to make this video like a mundane, boring tutorial. I actually wanted to give you guys real sauce. Another good example I can give you guys is what we call compilation. And this works really well with gifting products. So let's say you're hypothetically selling a product that is centered around gifting, which is a great winning angle, by the way. And I hope you guys sell some sort of gifting products in your dropshipping career or e-com career because they do pretty well. One of the best creative styles for gifting, and it's kind of like a no-brainer, is compilation, right? So what is compilation? It's just pretty self-explanatory. A bunch of clips back to back. Bonus points if you add some sort of voiceover or you add some sort of text-to-speech at the beginning, which we'll explain here in a second. Now with compilation, a lot of it is just timing, right? So for example, a gifting product, let's say it's an emotional gifting product. A good example of this is there is that one product that went super viral not too long ago. It was basically like a box, and when the person opens the box, a bunch of like paper comes out. It's like paper doves or paper birds kind of come out. Winning creatives for this were really simple. They would just, you gave the product to somebody, they would record it, obviously. They would record the person's reaction opening the product and like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And then the winning creative is just back-to-back reaction, 35 seconds to 40 seconds long, did really well. You can use this winning creative style in any niche. For example, weight loss. What's a good weight loss compilation video? Just back-to-back before and afters. And it's not hard, guys. Every product has its own, what I like to call hot point. For example, weight loss, what's the hot point? It's the before and after. For gifting, what's the hot point? It's the reaction when you give the product to somebody. For something like a carnelian stone, what's the hot point? It's literally just girls showing guys affection, whatever that be, them saying like guys won't stop chasing you, whatever it might be, them showing a text message from their ex. It's just girls showing guy affection. Find the hot point of that creative / video. Put them back to back and launch some compilations. I'm gonna give you guys another example here of a winning creative format that I love, but it's a little bit complicated, so stick with me here. The smart people watching this will totally get it, and the people that have done e-com before or have done any sort of online marketing will get it, but the beginners might get a little disconnected, but it's okay, because I'll do my best to break it down. This style is what I like to call voiceover plus B-roll. It's a really unique style, and this style actually is pretty complicated, but I'll do my best. Voiceover plus B-roll is pretty simple. You have a text / voiceover. It might be AI voice or it might be an old person's voice, and we'll explain how you can do that. Let's say it's an AI voice. You have an AI voice that carries over and you have B-roll behind it. Now, the reason why this style is really good is because you can really test anything with it. It's as simple as you have a hook and text to speech, and throughout the video, you have different B-roll that is being played throughout the text to speech. This is done with ripped content or custom content, but hypothetically, if you did this with ripped content and you did it right, it's completely your own piece of content because you've edited it with other videos and you've added a voiceover to it. So you really directed the video yourself. There's two main components to this style of content. You have the visuals and you have the copy. So for example, the visuals are like, what clips do you have? So similar to the compilation side, very simple. And the copy is the script. So what script is being played throughout the video? So I'm going to show you guys a brand that does this really well. I'm going to give you guys two examples and I'll explain to you why I chose these two examples and how they're different from each other. This brand is called Venom Sense. They sell a perfume, dropshipping brand. I'm going to pick this example right here.
I don't mind if you go. I'll take you.
No. I'll go to the house with you. We could go to the house.
What's the smell?
I don't smell it.
Can you get a new perfume?
No.
Mmm.
Nice.
I love it.
Oh, has to go to work though.
So this is a bit of a high production example. The video started as a voiceover plus B-roll. It was sticking as a compilation, and then they added a little bit more voiceover to it. They had a spokesperson, which I'll explain how you guys can do this with AI. And yeah, this is a good example. A little bit higher production than I would hope, but you guys don't need to make it that high production. Here's a better example here, mind you. That example, organically wise, only did 2,000 views, but this one did around 200K. Notice how much less effort this one is to make.
We've been seeing these viral pheromone perfumes everywhere. So tonight we're gonna go to bars and we're gonna test them out, and when you see if you guys budgets. Let's do it.
뜨뜻 and such a hand that any smelly. And if it's to hold my breath.
So a great example there. This one had a little bit of a story time to it, but again, it was way less editing than the first one, and it did pretty well. Let's find another example I can show you guys here. This is a perfect example of a voiceover plus B-roll creative.
Let's talk about the perfume that makes these guys crazy.
Your perfume they wearing us aren't good though. Probably.
Everybody's a little low.
Okay, I'm gonna go cook resin now to help with day and I'll get this now.
All the picture right there. We're gonna put it on.
I made the image.
Mark. So I'm not going to play the whole creative because it's a bit long, but as you guys can see, it's not really that hard. Voiceover plus V-roll is very similar to compilation. However, you just have some sort of spokesperson or some sort of text trailing through the video. Now you guys may be wondering, okay, Samir, I've ripped the content. I understand the editing, but where do I get the spokesperson from? Do I do it myself or do I hire somebody? Like for you guys, there's a crap ton of AI tools out there that makes this a lot easier. At the time that I'm filming this, CapCut actually does have its own, by the way, I'm not affiliated with any of these guys by any chance, but CapCut, they have their own voiceover AI thing that you guys can use. And if you're editing your videos on CapCut, it just makes it a lot easier. Another good one that I've used in the past is midjourney.ai. There's a lot of different platforms as well. I know a recent popular one is icon.me. Icon.me is more AI creators, but you guys can also use them for voiceover plus B-roll. They're a bit expensive though, so it depends if up to you guys. But those are just some options that you can pick. I think on TikTok now you can do voiceover plus B-roll as well, so it's pretty easy. You can do it on anywhere. Again, it's not super hard to edit these together. You just have to know what to pick for your script and copy, and then just put the clips together. Now, just to give you guys a little hint as well, so when it comes to picking out script and copy, it's really just what the customer wants out of the product, right? So for example, I love the pheromone perfume example because to the untrained eye, they're like, oh, it's a perfume, people want to smell good. No, people are buying that product because they want more attention from the opposite sex, pheromone perfume. So in this example, the brand owner, he knew that he should include more like sexual scripting in there. So it's like, hey, this is my boyfriend can't get enough from me, or this is what happened on date night, or guys are getting too much of me, similar to the carnelian angle. He knew to include those angles in the video and for his voiceover plus B-roll scripting, because that's why the customer is buying the product. So before you guys even make your scripts or come up with the stuff that you want to include in this format, just understand why people are buying the product. And it's so easy. Just go to TikTok, go to Amazon, see what people are talking about, right? Like if you have a product, like something as simple as like a knee brace, I'm giving a really broad example here. If you're selling like a popular knee brace, you could go online on Amazon and TikTok and see that people are buying this because they're on their feet all day working. It was construction workers, nurses, and just the backbone of the working society. Those are the people that are buying the product, not like your average everyday Joe that just stays home. You can make your scripts more tailored towards those people. It's all about intention. It's all about knowing who's buying your product. And I'm not going to make the whole video about this because it's honestly so simple. Again, just go to TikTok, go to Amazon, and see what people are talking about. TikTok videos, what type of people are talking about. This is exactly what we were talking about in the beginning with angles and avatars. Amazon, what are the top reviews saying? What are people talking about when it comes to this product? Once you understand who's buying it, just make your scripts around them. Even if it's niched out, it's better. Now, without getting too ahead of myself, I know I mentioned some of the other ways of getting content in the beginning of this module. I want to quickly go over those. So we did talk about ripping and the different forms of ripping. We talked about how with ripping, you want to edit it. You want to make it look good. You want to make it look unique to yourself in 3 different creative formats that you guys can steal from me and do today. We also talked about how you can make content on your own. Now, do I recommend this? Hell no. Don't make content on your own. Order the product yourself and make content because it's not going to work. Most of the products you guys are selling is unique to a customer demo that is not you. A lot of the angles I talked about earlier are for older people in like their 40s or 50s, people that have marriages going on, whatever it may be. Most of the people watching this are not in that situation. So don't try and make content and think that if you nail it down, you're going to get it right, because remember, you're not the avatar of the people that are buying, and people buy from people that look like them. So I don't recommend ordering the product to your house. And also, it's that's super inefficient. The last one is getting content on your own. Now, do I recommend this? Yes, I highly do. And we talk a lot about this towards the end of this video about like how to get content on your own, how to scale content, where to find creators, how to get creators. And this is really good for my people who are scaling with Rip content and now need to get to that extra step. Just stick throughout the video and I got you at the end. For the beginner, the really only option is ripping. And the last option I mentioned, which is AI. Now, I know I already touched on AI a little bit and you guys can see how much of a game changer it is when it comes to your scripting and coming out with a voiceover actor for your videos. But you guys can use AI for everything. There's always new AI tools coming out. And just by being ahead of the curve, you literally beat everyone else on the market. I was one of the first people to find out about AI creators and we used it in one of our supplement brands and scaled it to over $1 million a month with just AI creatives. I think I'm one of the top spenders when it comes to AI content in the world, which is crazy because I'm not a better marketer than most people. I was just early to it. I was at the wave before it begun. Same goes for a lot of my students. When I found out AI was working for our brands, we quickly told a lot of the people inside of Brandify, which is our community, to do the same style of creatives and how to do them as well. And everyone was printing. And I'll tell you guys right now, since it's after the fact, but a lot of people, when they started to use AI content and AI creators, they would just have a video with the AI creator talking. What we did is we were not only extremely early to the wave, but we understood that if we make an AI video and we use like a green screen style TikTok where the AI creator is kind of like a floating head, it's like a green screen style TikTok videos if you guys have seen it before. We do that style and we keep the video moving a lot. People won't be able to tell it's AI and we literally have a free UGC creator. And it printed and everyone that did that style in our community is still printing off of it. This goes to show how important it is to be ahead of the curve, especially since there's literally new AI tools coming out every day for marketers. Just by knowing them before anyone else, you're already ahead of the curve. That's why, again, I think communities like Brandify are literally a game changer. So link in bio. Moving forward here, there's a lot of them I can give you guys just to kind of start your journey with AI creators. First off, AI avatars are a huge game changer. A lot of different platforms and I'm not affiliated with any of them. So don't think I'm just shilling you down a route that I'm getting money off of. It's by no means am I affiliated with them. You have Creatify, you have ArcAds, you have Icon.me, which I mentioned earlier. You have MakeUGC.com, and I think that we're using right now. I know CapCut has AI creators as well, but I don't think they're that good. But honestly, out of all of them, ArcAds has been the one that we see the most success with. And again, no affiliation. These are just some great AI tools you guys can use for your own brands that I highly recommend you guys give it a shot because they do really work. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different ways to go about AI creators, and I gave you guys a really good example that we talked about in the community not too long ago. But what can you guys do now? How can you guys leverage AI creators properly? The best advice I can give you guys is don't make videos with just AI creators, but try and mix it together with ripped content. And this is where shit gets a little complicated because now you have all this ripped content, you have all these ideas flowing through your head, and now you have the AI creator stuff, and you need to be grateful that you're in this position because you have to think about it like this. Most of the people that get into testing products, that get into online marketing, whatever it be, dropshipping, e-com, SaaS, doesn't matter. When they're looking at their optionality when it comes to creatives, it is very limited. It is literally, I have these videos I can steal, I can just put them up, or I'm just looking at my competitor videos, I can launch these. But the people that understand the game, like myself, we get overwhelmed. And being overwhelmed is a really good feeling to have when it comes to content. Because when you're overwhelmed, that means you just have a lot to do. You have a lot of potential opportunities, a lot of potential creatives to make. That's why I want to give you guys as many resources as possible, because the more overwhelmed you guys are, the more money you will make. You need to feel overwhelmed. You need to be like, crap, I can make 5 different concepts with this script, and I can use this ripped video, and I can rip this organic hook and put it on top of this video, and then maybe I can have an AI creator do the CTA. Those are the thoughts that are going to make you millions in e-com. The other thoughts of like, oh, what the media buying strategy is, oh, where do I launch these ads? That's not going to make you money. That hasn't made anybody money. But the thought is of like, oh, what can I do on the creative side with this product? That's what's going to make you money. I talk a lot about this in my product research video. We talk about the mindset I have when doing product research, about how when I'm looking at a product, I'm not thinking about the margin. I'm thinking about what creative angles can I do? How much available content is there for me to merge together and make unique videos out of? It's a game changer. Nevertheless, you guys do not want to overlook how important it is to use these AI creators. Again, mixing it with ripped content can literally be what takes you to $1 million a month, and I highly advise you guys try it. That is as simple as having, let's say, a ripped video. Let's say you did the example, you had the hook plus body. Let's say you don't have a body. Let's say you just have a really good hook, like a really aggressive clip, but there's no clip of someone talking about the product, talking about that experience. Use an AI creator. And one better, do a green screen video. So the AI creator is like a floating head over the hook. These are amazing examples about how you guys can leverage AI creators and not just do them how most people do it. And I swear to God, if I see anybody watching this video that has an AI creator just talking about the product with nothing going on the screen, no green screen, no B-roll, no nothing, I'm going to shoot myself because those videos do not work and I don't want you guys to waste your time with them. Here, guys, is an example of a green screen video that you guys can do. That is, I don't think this is an AI creator, but you could easily do with any of the AI creators I mentioned earlier. As you can see,
are a scam. The end all reveal actually works. There's like no scientific evidence that these pheromone fragrances work on humans. However, there is emerging evidence that ingredients like
so it's a very quick example, but I wanted to show you guys what that green screen example looked like because I know a lot of you guys might be a little confused. It's the importance of winning formats, right? Once you understand what winning formats to work backwards from, you can kind of plug and play with these AI creators and this ripped content. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, for example, with hooks, you don't even have to use the same hooks that are applicable to your product. If you're selling a weight loss product, you can take before and afters from any product, any sort of weight loss transformation public journey. Ethical, probably not, but you have to do what you have to do to get your foot off the ground, right? So take those videos, use them as a hook, find some sort of body. If not, make AI out of it. It's that easy. Another popular AI style that I don't really recommend too much, but it has made me a lot of money and a lot of other people a lot of money, is what we call the mid-journey AI picture style. It is really simple. It's basically a bunch of AI images back to back to back, talking about the product and showcasing the product. It kind of looks like cartoony a little bit. I'm not going to dive too much into this style because it doesn't really work too much. It was really popular not too long ago, but it kind of started downtrend, so I don't really recommend something like that. The other styles I gave you are way better. Those formats will take you guys to $1 million a month, especially if you're doing the right customer research, you understand why people are buying the product, you have the right angle, the right avatar, and you're utilizing AI tools the right way. Now, I want to dive into a little bit some other examples of winning creatives. I'm going to show you guys on my phone a product with a crappy creative and then a good creative, so you guys can have a really good idea of how the product isn't what makes the sale, it's the creative, and how you guys can identify winning content. Because the only difference between a guy like me and a guy like you when we're doing product research is I know what winning content looks like. I know what winning products look like. I've scaled. I've done 100K days. I'm currently doing over 100K a day. I know how this game works, right? And just by knowing what works, you can avoid what doesn't. And by showing you guys what doesn't work, you can attract what does. So let's dive into it. This is a product that we actually tested for a video. It didn't do too well, but I'll show you guys. So this is a creative that is not good, right? So this creative, even though it shows like a girl with a slim waist, there's no talking in the video. There's no like her trying to sell it. Doesn't follow a winning format. Whereas if we look at this video,
12 pounds ago, I started drinking this matcha drink and it completely took my appetite away.
off the bat, Nature's Zempic is an amazing phrase. But Zempic is like a very popular weight loss treatment that's out right now. But it's not natural, it's man-made. So by saying Nature's Zempic, it's like speaking to the people that would buy this product.
You have tried the shot that lots of people are using to shrink up and it didn't work for you, or you don't have insurance to cover it. Let me put you onto this. I drink this once in the morning. If I don't eat before I drink it, I won't want to eat all day long. It has prebiotics, probiotics, and lines made to help you focus. It does have natural caffeine in it, but there's L-theanine to level out that caffeine so you don't get any jitters or crashes. After I drink this, I do not have an appetite for the rest of the day. Not only does
Such a good creative because she's so passionate about it, so organic. It uses the right framing at the beginning. She's not just saying, this is my experience with this. She's like, she's doing a before and after, or like us versus them naturally. But it's not like she even did this intentionally. It was just her raw, authentic opinion on the product. This makes a very good video. Now, here is what you guys could do. You could honestly take the hook from the first video I gave you, 3 seconds, boom, switches to the video that I just showed you of the girl talking about it. You basically just combine the two videos so you can follow the hook plus body style, and they give you bonus points if you add an AI creator at the end, putting the CTA call to action saying buy this at 20% off. Let's do another example. This is the bad creative. The reason I wanted to show this creative was because even though it has 1.5 million likes, which is a lot, it won't sell the product. If you guys rip this and watch it as an ad, there's nothing that sells the people to buy the product. There's nothing to it. And it goes against literally everything I've talked about up until this point for this video. Now, what is a good creative?
My 30-day Shilajit experiment just ended. These were my starting levels. And here are the new labs I decided to get done yesterday. I added ferritin, hematocrit, as well as iron because Shilajit can potentially raise all of those. And I added a comprehensive metabolic panel just to see if it had any effect on my liver. I should be getting the results early next week.
This would make a great example of a winning creative and also just a winning body. Like you could use this video and mash it with other videos out there that maybe over exaggerate the product because he's so tame in this video and he explains it in such like a friendly, organic way that if you had a really aggressive hook, this would be a really good way to back that up a winning creative. Here's the last example, is a carnelian example.
Carnelian. Carnelian is a good crystal for cleansing other crystals. Carnelian is a stabilizing stone, providing vitality and motivation. It is used to treat
So it's just a horrible creative. There's no one talking about it. It's supposed to be like organic and it's ecstatic, but it's really not. It's not like talking about why people are buying it, because let's be honest, people are not buying carnelian because it's giving them motivation. It's been buying it because it's going to attract their ex or whatever. This is a bad creative, and there's a lot of winning carnelian examples out there. Now, here's the thing with editing as well, and I wanted to make this clear in this section. There's been times before where I've literally seen the lower quality of the editing, the better the creative performed. Guys, remember, people are looking for natural content that looks organic to the platform. It looks like every other video. Most of the people that have viral videos online are not overly editing anything. So try not to do crazy transitions or crazy captions or anything like that. You want to focus on just putting the right clips together with the right things, saying the right things is very important, right? Like nature's Ozempic. That's really good. Or how I'm getting my ex back instead of saying this is the best stone on the planet, right? So really speaking to the customer's desire and remember their angles, right? That's why you need to understand their avatar rather than super high quality stuff that is overly edited that just doesn't really work. Remember, if the content looks organic, people will buy and the platform will keep pushing it out. We live in a content-based economy. Meta, TikTok, these platforms want to see good ads that make their customers laugh, ads that look like any other video. The second you start doing that high production route, everything goes to shit and it's not worth it. And this goes for anybody watching this in any sort of marketing position. I know a decent amount of people might be watching this video that maybe aren't trying to do dropshipping. Maybe they have a SaaS or some sort of agency and they just want to learn more about marketing. They're smart enough to click on videos for guys that are doing good at marketing like myself. Well, let me speak to you guys for a second. Keep it natural, keep it organic, never go high quality because that's where you lose touch with the customer. And you might look at me and be like, oh, this guy's dumb, because if you look at bigger brands like maybe like risesuperfoods.com or these brands that are like crushing it in the e-com space, like Gymshark, for example, like, oh, they're super high quality and they're huge brands. No, that's not how they became huge brands. Higher quality they are, the higher their CPA, the lower their ROAS. They're not acquiring profitably. Big companies like Rise Superfood does not acquire profitably. They acquire unprofitably because they have so much money coming in from funding and other sources. It's just a different game they're playing. So you don't want to look at Rise Superfoods. You're going to learn more from the scrappy dropshipping store that is trying to make a buck online than the guy who's worth over $1 billion. Because I'll tell you what, the scrappy dropshipping store has no room for low margin. They need a high margin. They need their ads to be profitable. They need to be at a 3 ROAS because of their high shipping times. They're going to have high refund ratios. They're going to have high chargebacks. Their Facebook page is going to go down. They're going to go through it. So if they're not widely profitable on their ads, they are literally going to die in the market. That's why I think dropshippers are the best marketers on the planet, because they found a way to make this business model work, and a lot of them without branding. So to me, that's absolutely crazy. Now, obviously, anybody watching this that is in the dropshipping game, follow the branded approach, do what we talk about in the other YouTube videos. That is for a separate video. The main point I'm trying to get home here is when you're doing marketing, regardless of what niche it is, focus on low quality, high focus on copy. Just remember that. More organic. You want the customer to feel like this is a normal video. Now, notice in this creative section, we didn't dabble too much into organic, and I will talk about organic a couple sections here. Organic marketing is not my main cup of tea, and I do know people that will get into dropshipping. They'll order the product to their house and they'll try organic marketing. Don't recommend it. There's different ways to go about it when you're scaling. So mind you, everything we talked about in this section about creatives is more so applicable to just paid media. It's not applicable to organic. Just to go over some terminology as well, UGC is the only style of content we use, and by the way, AI avatars, otherwise known as this UGC creators, but everything we're talking about here is UGC, and you guys want to focus on UGC, and I'll explain UGC a little bit more in the last section of the module here. Now it's time for module 3, and that is going to be media buying. Now, media buying is very simple. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not your main focus, and it should never be your main focus. Content is everything, and you don't scale ads, you scale content. Now, it doesn't matter what ad platform we launch on, whatever it be, is something as recent as App 11 or Twitter ads or Pinterest ads or something like Snapchat, which is more unorthodox and non-traditional, or something like Meta ads or TikTok ads that everyone uses, we follow the same media buying strategy. In this section, I'm going to talk about how we launch our campaigns, how to launch campaigns to support creative testing, which will make sense here. And then most importantly, how we scale the campaigns. And mind you, this is going to be the quickest section of the course. So first things first is, what is the best platform? Meta. Meta is king. Remember, you can build a $1 billion business on Meta, but you really can't build that business on just Pinterest ads or just Snapchat ads or just TikTok ads. Meta is the only platform where you can actually see consistent results. And this is coming from somebody who has spent, not exaggerating, millions on TikTok, millions on Snapchat, not millions on Pinterest, close to $1 million on Pinterest, and spending tens of thousands of dollars a week on other platforms like AppLovin and whatnot. I've spent a lot of money all over the place, and I have experience in literally every platform you can think of. We even ran native ads for a decent amount of time. I tell you for a fact, guys, that Meta is everything. And when you optimize your business around Meta, you will have a business. But for my kids out there that are doing, organic dropshipping or TikTok shop dropshipping or TikTok ads just only, you're getting mobbed. You're getting dominated. Like, you're not going to win in this game of e-com or even having SaaS or any sort of business, because again, you're not focusing on the best platform, which is Meta. Now that we got that out of the way, how do you dominate Meta? Where it's exactly what we talked about in the last module, all content. If you have the best content, it doesn't matter how you launch it, it will work. Now, with that being said, let's get into what the actual media buying strategy is. I'm going to share my screen here. Now, this is actually ad account we're using for our active challenge. Depending on when we get this video up, you guys will see this challenge, but this is an example of how to launch campaigns. So very simple. Each campaign, and this is Meta's ads manager for my super beginners here, and this goes for any sort of business model. Each campaign is going to have one ad set in it, and in that one ad set, you're going to have 5 unique ads. And I'll explain that here in a second. So if we go to the campaign, right, and this is how we launch creatives. Let's say you have 5 creatives to launch, because mind you guys, the way to market in 2025 is have more creatives than your competition. So let's say you have 25 creatives. This is all you're going to do. Or let's say you have 15 creatives for the sake of this video. In your campaign level, as you can see, there's nothing unique here, just $50 budget. Keep it really low. You're going to have your ad set budget right here. So your ad set level. Down here, you'll have your daily budget. You keep going down. You keep going down. You have no targeting except for the gender. That's the only thing you want to target, which, sorry, this is going to be very slow here because my laptop's about to die. You have no targeting except the gender. So like, yeah, US and gender, right? Because we're only selling in the US. US and gender, that's all you do. Right? Placements, you keep that untouched. You keep everything untouched. It's just US and whatever gender you're doing. So in the creative level, you have the unique creatives that we were talking about earlier. And guys, these are all unique ads, right? So each campaign, very simple here. Again, and there's not really much I need to show you. And then also, sorry to get ahead of myself, that's the URL right there. This is a challenge video we're doing. So we're launching this. And then just the ad capture, just copy this format, use it for your own stuff. It's not really that hard. You have one campaign with one ad set with 5 unique creatives in it. When you want to launch a batch of a new 5 creatives, you do it in a new campaign with a new ad set with 5 creatives, right? So it's just each campaign has a different batch of 5 creatives, no targeting. We do that media buying strategy on Meta. We do it on TikTok. We do it on Snapchat. We do it on everything. It just works. And the reason it works is not because it's a magic trick. It's because we're focusing on what matters. By separating the campaigns by batches of 5 creatives, a campaign is working. We can scale that single batch of 5 creatives. We can identify which creative it was. We can put it in separate campaigns and we can scale it up as much as possible. Now, it's really simple. If you want to scale, you just bump budgets by 20%. You can bump budgets 3 to 5 times a day. And if something is really working, you can just duplicate the campaign at whatever budget is at. So let's say you bumped it up to $1,000 a day. You just dupe it 2 times at $2,000 a day. That's it. Scaling is not hard. It's really just spending more to make more. There's been times before where we've scaled by just duplicating campaigns. There's times where we scaled by just bumping budgets. There's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you have good creatives, it will work. A lot of you guys might be wondering, why don't we separate each creative with each campaign? Sometimes when you launch a batch of 5 creatives at $50 a day, maybe creative number 3 and creative number 4 don't get any spend. So what do we do about creative number 3 and creative number 4? Here's the thing. A winning creative doesn't just mean that creative is going to spend profitably. It means it's going to spend in the first place. There's been times before where we launch a batch of 5 creatives, creative number 3, and creative number 4 gets no spend. And overall, the campaign is unprofitable. And my genius idea was, let's just take creative number 3, let's take creative number 4, let's put it in a separate campaign, let's let them spend, and it should be profitable because they're amazing creatives. Guess what happens? They're not profitable. It just spends poorly. And that's because Meta is smart enough to pick out the right creatives, right? So they're not going to allocate spend to a creative they don't think is going to spend profitably. There's never been a time before where I've taken a creative that has no allocation of spend, put it in its own campaign to force it to spend, and it's worked. Main point I'm trying to make here is don't force the system to do anything that it can't or doesn't want to do. Just keep feeding it creatives and it should work. Now, what's more important than your media buying strategy, guys, is where you get your ad accounts from. And without making this really complicated or the whole point of the video, ad accounts play a huge role into success or not. A lot of people think with Meta specifically, you can just open up a random ads manager online. You go to trybusiness.facebook.com, whatever the URL is. You open up an ad account and you're fine. Newsflash, your ad account will get banned. You'll have a daily spending limit, or just overall won't work. You need to use agency accounts. I've spent over $15 million on Facebook, and it's been with only agency accounts. I spent millions on TikTok, only agency accounts. I spent millions on Snapchat, spent close to $1 million on Pinterest, only agency accounts. Guys, the reason I'm saying it, I don't want to sound cocky. Anyone who has told you that you don't need agency accounts, you can use personal accounts, ask them how much they spent. I'm just curious, because most of the people that give you that advice, they haven't even touched $1 million in spend. They haven't. Again, I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but we've literally spent over $15 million on Facebook ads. Over $15 million. And we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a week currently, all agency accounts. I want you guys to listen to the right people here. And sometimes I have to be egotistical for you guys to listen to me. So agency accounts are the way to go. Now, where do you get agency accounts? I would be lying if I said it was easy. You can go on Google. You can look up on Google. You can ask people on Twitter. You will find different types of agency accounts. The same ones we use and the same ones all our students use are inside of Brandify. So if you want the same ones as us, just let us know inside of Brandify. Link in bio. We got you. There's a lot of different providers out there, but I prefer to use the same ones. I've been using the same guys for years now. Same with our supplier. I like to stick with the same people because I know it works. Now, Facebook is a really complicated game. We talk a little bit about this in some of our other videos, but you want to make sure that you have a good business manager, right? Because Facebook works in different levels. You have business manager, you have a profile, you have a page, you have an ad account. These are just the different levels of Facebook. And you have to buy all these assets. Again, you can create them yourself because the stuff will just go down. It's just how the game works. When it comes to business managers, there's people that sell them. They're really easy to find on Twitter. They're really easy to find on Google. But again, if you want the same suppliers as us, we give them inside of Brandify. Same people can sell profiles. Same people will sell pages. They'll sell you everything you need to get started. And they'll actually show you how to set it up as well, because you kind of need proxies and whatnot, which again seems complicated, but anybody who sells you these assets will teach you how to do it. On top of that as well, once you have your business manager set up, you have your pages set up, and you have your profile set up, next step is just to get an agency ad account. Agency ad accounts transparently do have a fee. It's like a couple percentage of ad spend, like 3 to 5%, depending on what product you're running or what SaaS or software you're running, whatever you're doing. It's around 3 to 5%. And all you need to do is host an agency account on your business manager, and you should be fine. I know a lot of people that might be watching this might have already been in the e-com space for a long time, and maybe they've heard other people say that you need 2 separate business managers with different ways of hosting the pixels and ad accounts and all this stuff. It's all BS. If you have one good BM with a good agency account, you have a good relationship with one of these plugs like the ones that we offer in Brandify, you're fine. Now, what has dramatically changed in media buying in the last year and a half? It's what I like to call UTMs. If you guys don't have UTMs, you will not succeed. It's going to be extremely hard to scale, and you will be left in the blind. Now, what are UTMs? UTMs are literally the only way you guys can scale ads in 2025, and so on and so forth. Tracking has never been worse when it comes to ads manager, meaning that if you launch a Facebook ad and it says you got 3 purchases, it might be lying to you. If you launch an ad on Facebook and your ads manager on Facebook says you got 3 purchases, it might be lying to you. Maybe you got 5, maybe you got 7, maybe you got 1. You can't trust the data on ads manager anymore. And I know this for a fact because I've tried scaling without UTMs and I've tried just scaling off of ads manager. What happens is I'll scale a campaign that says it's doing good, but in reality it's not. So then my margin starts to dip, and then I realize, oh crap, like I was scaling the wrong thing to begin with. And there's a really clear-cut solution for this. And it's one of those few things in this business model and just marketing in general. If you don't know it, you're behind the curve. And if you know it, you're fine. It's not one of those things that is like gray. It's literally as black and white can get. And that is have UTMs on all your ads. There's a lot of different providers out there, and I'm not here to gatekeep any of them. The one we use for all our brands is triplewhale.com. Again, no affiliation. In fact, I could easily have affiliation with these guys because they would love for me to push out their platform and I could get affiliate commission and all this great stuff. I don't care. I don't need the money. So Triple Whale, one of the best ones out there. WeTracked is really good as well. This is the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head that we use, but obviously Triple Whale is the best because they also give you margin tracking. They also can kind of combine a lot of different stuff as well. So I highly recommend Triple Whale. Now, what is the main mentality you guys need to have with media buying? And this is the most important part of this module because it's the only part that's going to make you a lot of money. Yes, the way that we launch campaigns is somewhat important. Yes, UTMs are widely important. Yes, focusing on content is important, but this is the mentality you guys need to adopt in order to make money. And that is as simple as testing, testing, testing. Guys, when you get into ads manager, you need to act like a scientist wearing a lab coat. What do I mean by that? You're testing different things. You're trying different formulations. You're mixing different things together. And most of the time, it's really just creatives, but you're trying different stuff out to see how it works. You have to view the ads manager as your lab. And it's up to you as a scientist to figure out what is going to be that winning combination. And again, we don't mess with interest. We don't mess with a lot of that BS media buying strategy, bidding, non-bidding, and all that. The makes it a lot easier because the only thing you guys need to focus on, excluding the product, is going to be your offer and your creative. Mixing offers with creatives, trying seasonal sales. There's a lot of different ways you guys can test certain things in order to make it work. Mentality of testing, testing, and testing is what's going to drive you guys to success. A lot of people think you launch ads to see results and see money, whereas that is true. But the secondary reason of launching ads is to get data, to figure out why things are working and what isn't working, focus on what is working and just moving forward. Just being able to move forward is so important in this game. And again, that's why we break up campaigns by creative level, so we can clearly identify the data, clearly make sure what's working, what isn't, and scale what is, just to see the data, right? For example, the person who's able to do 30K a day with their dropshipping store versus the person who's able to only do 1K a day is the person that does 30K a day saw data and they acted on that data. Steve Jobs has a great quote, and as you can only connect the dots looking backwards. Data only appears in retrospect, meaning that if something is working, you need to be a smart enough marketer to be able to identify it's working, meaning you look back at the data. So maybe a week ago or 3 days ago, whenever you launch these campaigns, see what's working and you iterate off of it. You make variations of the winning content. You try that winning piece of content with different offers. Maybe you try it with a seasonal sale, which we talked about in our other videos. So you do different things to that winning piece of content to ensure that you're acting on the data and you're actually being a good marketer. Break-even metrics are extremely important with media buying, and I don't think enough people realize that your unit economics might be what makes or breaks your profitability in this game. Just by knowing your break-even metrics is super, super easy. I'm going to give you guys a little crash course on it. First, you have your break-even ROAS, right? And by the way, I'm not going to tell you guys how to calculate this because you can literally just go on Google and look up break-even ROAS calculator, break-even CPA calculator, and they're all there. Your break-even ROAS basically tells you at what ROAS can you operate at without being unprofitable, right? You always want to keep your break-even ROAS around 1.3 to 1.4. That's the sweet spot I found. If you can get closer to 1, that's better. Anything above 1.4 is basically cooked, in my opinion. Your break-even CPA in today's day and age, I think, and this is my strong opinion, this is coming from someone who's crushed this game, it should at least be around $35. If you're under $35 for your break-even CPA, good luck scaling hard because your CPA will fluctuate when you scale. That's just how it goes. And if you don't give Meta, TikTok, and all these platforms at least a $35 room of up and downs, then you will die by the volatility. It will go over 35. You will see unprofitable days and you won't be able to scale with momentum. And this is boring information. Most people would hate to hear this, but the fact that you guys made it to this point of the video, the fact that you guys are taking notes, the fact that you guys are actually listening, you guys are actually going to implement this in your dropshipping or e-commerce businesses, whatever it may be, you guys will win. Just by understanding how important data is and working with the data to actually see success, you guys will beat everyone else. And trust me, I've seen it. The kids that come into this game that are very much focused on just quick money, quick results, just launching something and it working right off the bat, versus the kids that actually look at the data, understand why something is working, why it isn't working. Those are the ones that win. The ones that actually take the time to look back at the data and they understand what's important, and that is testing, testing. Next section here, we're going to be talking about influencer and a little bit more about UGC marketing. This is for the people who are seeing a couple $100s a day in sales with either your dropshipping store, your e-commerce store is taking off, whatever it may be. This is for the people that have some level of success. This is going to be a quick section because we did do a majority of this video over creatives, but this is still important. We're going to be going over where to find influencers and the right mentality to have with influencer marketing. We're going to be going over how you want to do influencer marketing in 2025 and how most people end up messing this up. And then lastly, we're going to talk about UGC, where to find UGC creators, how to get UGC creators, and how to train UGC creators, because a lot of people don't even talk about that. So let's just jump right into it. Me, myself, I've spent close to, I think, $500,000 on influencers in my lifetime. And to be honest, it's one of those things that I'm doing more in 2025. But up until I think 2024, I really had the game backwards. A lot of people look at influencer marketing and how big brands look at influencer marketing. Like, for example, a brand like Celsius might pay Jake Paul a couple $1 million to promote their product. Or a brand like Fabletics will pay Kevin Hart millions. There's countless other examples like BlendJet paying actors, and these bigger brands, these bigger e-commerce brands, giving large budgets to these creators or influencers to make videos about their product. The reason why this is obsolete is because they don't do it profitably. When you're paying a big influencer to make videos about your product, that influencer is not going to drive back the same ROI in sales. They're just going to drive you brand awareness. So you can't look at these big companies and be like, okay, they hired this huge influencer, let me just do the same thing and I'm going to get the same results. It's not how it works. Hiring big influencers is a huge waste of money, and most people don't even realize, but it's not going to get you any sales. I've done this route before where I've paid large influencers to make videos about a product. We actually had a small brand. This was about a couple of years back. We partnered with Larry Wheels, which was one of the biggest gym influencers in the world. We had a brand, we tried it, didn't even work, completely flopped. And there was literally no upfront cost or anything. It was just like, this is a partner store we did. And that was a big wake up call to me, that even if you have a big name behind your product and the product is the great product market fit, it's still not going to hit because that's not how the game works. All the people that do large influencer marketing, what we call macro influencer marketing, don't do it for profitability. They do it because it helps with their brand. And that's more so looking at like the brand from an overarching perspective, not like day-to-day profitability like dropshippers are. Rather, you guys want to focus on what we call micro influencer marketing. Macro influencers is a conglomerate of smaller influencers that don't have a large brand, but focusing on volume and focusing on many posts. The thing is, with influencer marketing, it's like a black box, meaning that when you have somebody on TikTok with 1 million followers, they post a video, that doesn't necessarily mean all the million people are going to see that video. It just means they have a higher chance of going viral. But the thing is, everyone has an equal amount of chance of going viral on TikTok as long as they consistently make content and they have some sort of audience. So the smarter thing to do as a dropshipper that wants to dabble into influencer marketing is focus on micro and focus on high volume. For example, let's say I had, for simplicity's sakes, $1,000 budget for influencer marketing. And I could either spend it on one large influencer to make one post on their TikTok. Let's say they have a couple million followers. The average person would be like, oh, this is amazing because all their million followers are going to see them using it. All of them are going to buy it. Even if 10% of people buy it, I make this much money. That's like where the normal person's mind goes. Whereas that is not the case. That is not what is going to happen. I guarantee you paid $1,000 for that post. Let's say best case scenario, 100,000 people see it. So that's 10% of the audience. None of them are going to buy. Let's say some of them buy. Let's say 10 of them buy. You're not making your money back. It's just way lower than you actually think. And the game sounds way better on paper than it actually does in reality. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we don't start brands off with influencer marketing. It's something that we do later down the line. Now, let's say you are doing influencer marketing and you have that $1,000 budget. What is the alternate way? What is the better way of going about it? Ideally, you guys want to focus on a conglomerate of small a micro influencer. These are influencers that are attracted to your product, meaning that they look like the target avatar, the target demo for the product. Remember, we talk about avatars at the beginning of this video for a reason because it applies to every single module. These are influencers that don't have a large audience. Maybe they have a couple thousand followers. They just post out of passion. Most of them have never done an influencer deal before. So if you even offer them like $100, $200, they're out of their mind. They're ready to do it. And you focus on high volume with those people. For example, there's been times before where we found a micro influencer, somebody with like, let's say 5,000 to 6,000 followers, anything under 100K. We give them, let's say $300 and we tell them to post 20 videos about the product. We just tell them to post 3 videos every day for like 5 days, right? The fact that they're posting every single day, they're like the avatar buying the product and they're staying consistent with it is a way higher chance than just having one influencer post one big post. Focus on volume, guys. For that $1,000, it'll be better spent having 10 influencers post 2 times a day for a week and have them charge you $100 each. Obviously, these are really low rates that I'm talking about, but the whole point here is focus on micro influencers, focus on volume. So don't do one post, do multiple posts, right? Stick on one platform, being TikTok, it's highly recommended, and just have them consistently post, have them consistently do it. This works way better because not only is each post a different chance to go viral, a different ticket in the lottery, but each post can be used for ads. The highest ROI with influencer marketing is actually paid media, meaning that this influencer post can then be used as an ad and it crushes. There's a reason why these brands pay massive amounts to these influencers, not just because of brand awareness, but because these influencer ads do extremely well on paid media. I've never seen a higher hit rate than when you take a winning influencer in a winning niche and combine it with an ad and you launch it. It does really well. This is a massive game changer that a lot of people overlook. When you look at influencer marketing as a volume game, you end up beating everyone out the market because not only do you have more ads for paid media, but every time an influencer posts, it's another chance to go viral, especially with TikTok, to where anybody can go viral as long as it's a good piece of content and as long as it's relatable. This is the right way of doing it. Now into the nitty gritty. Where do you find influencers? All over the place. You can make posts on Twitter, right? Which is the same UGC method that we'll talk about in a second here. You can make posts on Twitter. You can go to Google. You can look up influencer marketing agencies. You can go to, and this is a secret I haven't told anybody, TikTok creator marketplace, right? You can go there and find creators there. You can go to Calidata and find top TikTok shop affiliates. They're all micro influencers themselves. Or you can just literally just go on TikTok and look up your product, look up similar products and just DM or email the people that are making videos about products like yours or similar to yours. All these methods work really well. And honestly, you're just one Google search away from an agency that could change your life as well. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Now, the second thing I want to talk about here is going to be UGC creators. I know we already went over it. I didn't talk about how to get these UGC creators and how to actually source your own content. The thing is, UGC creators are all over the place on Twitter. I don't need to spend too much time on this because I've already have a lot of content already talking about this if you guys watch my other videos. But UGC creators are all over the place on Twitter. You literally just have to make one tweet saying, looking for hashtag UGC creators for a spiritual brand, whatever your brand is. And at the end, you just put hashtag UGC creator, whatever it may be. You will get people to reply to you. You will get people DMing you. It's just very common. We do this for all our brands. UGC creators are extremely extremely, extremely easy to find on Twitter. Another way to find UGC creators besides just going on TikTok and DMing random people is, and this is really easy, is going to a platform like joinbrands.com. It's one of my favorites out there. Again, no affiliation. I have affiliations to absolutely no platforms and no softwares out there. Not my game plan, but they're really good and I highly recommend them. I use them for all my brands. Now, the overarching thing that literally overrules influencer and UGC marketing, and if you know this, you are ahead of everybody, is focus on influencers, focus on UGC creators that look like your customer. Focus on creators that look like your customer and not what your customer wants to look like. Everyone has it backwards. Let's say I had a weight loss brand. Everyone that has a weight loss brand is looking for UGC creators and influencers that are skinny, that are underweight, and that look good, that are like gym influencers and whatnot. That's twisted. That's not going to work, bro. That's not what works in ever, right? That's like the wrong mentality. People buy from people that look like them. So if you're selling a weight loss product, you need somebody in that video. You need an influencer that honestly, it's a little bit fat, that kind of looks like your target customer, where they can speak authentically about the product. They can make an organic style video. If I have a skinny person selling a weight loss product, they're holding up the product like this, and they're like, oh, this product helped me lose weight, blah, blah, blah. People are going to skip through that because they're like, okay, this is a stupid advertisement. But if it's an overweight person talking about how they started their weight loss journey, this has really helped them. They're not where they want to be yet, but they're still working on it. That is going to print. And trust me, this is universal for whatever niche you're in, whatever it be in weight loss, hair care, beauty. The best beauty ads, the best makeup ads that we've seen when it comes to just drop shipping stores and whatnot have ugly ass people in them. The way people think about marketing is so twisted because they look at large brands. You look at brands like, let's say, Kim K's makeup brand or whatever it may be. They look at brands like this. They say, oh, Kim K is beautiful. They have all these beautiful people in the ad. I need to do the same thing because this is how marketing should be. It's not. Marketing is when people relate to each other. They buy from people that look like them and they only want ads and these creatives that they can relate to. This kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier about avatars. And again, it's kind of why I started the video off on that note, because it's not something that's as nitty gritty as how to launch a media buying campaign, but it is one of the overarching things that will amount to your success. Next section here, we're going to talk a little bit about organic marketing and seasonal sales. This is scaling. This section is all about scaling and how to scale your marketing for your e-com brand. Now, a lot of this stuff is really new information that hasn't been validated by bigger brands or other people, but I can speak from experience. This is what's working for our brands and all the other guys I know that are crushing it. Let's start off with organic marketing. How does this apply to a brand? Now, I have a famous clip that a lot of people have seen. I call organic dropshipping dead. I say organic dropshipping doesn't work and nobody should do it. And I stand by that. I'm holding frame here, guys. Organic dropshipping is dead. It sucks. If you're wasting your time with organic dropshipping, you'd rather just put the fries in the bag, bro. That stuff does not work. This is different. I'm talking about using organic to your advantage after you've established profitable ad spend, after you establish a profitable brand with paid media, a profitable ad system. This is the next step because you want to dominate the market. You don't just want to be one thing. You want to be everything. So how do you utilize organic marketing once you already see success? How do you scale with organic marketing? A lot of people think organic marketing is just posting on one page, meaning that you have, let's say, your brand page and you're just posting your ads on your brand page and they're getting impressions, organic views. This is to most people organic marketing, but that is so far from the truth. Organic marketing overarching is just getting impressions organically through as many different pages as possible. The easiest way I can explain this is look at any sort of top TikTok shop listing. TikTok shop has completely changed the organic game, but it's a great demonstration of how organic should work for a popular e-com brand. Any top TikTok shop listing, which again, you can see on calodata.com, no affiliation, has a bunch of small pages posting every day about their brand. They have creators they got from different places posting about their brand. And this is how they're growing their listing organically. The same thing applies for just having an e-com brand. I always tell people, don't just have a Shopify store, have a TikTok shop listing as well. Have an Amazon shop listing as well. This is obviously more high level for more so of like a different video. It's not marketing side of things, but it is all fueled by organic. This can apply to any sort of e-com brand. Let's say you guys have a Shopify store that's doing some sales and you want to scale with organic marketing. Simple, guys. Again, just go to Twitter, find people. You can look up organic creators, looking for hashtag organic creators for my e-com brand. Find these creators, pay them a retainer every month. They'll post one video a day for your product and boom, now you start to build an organic leg. I do this with all our top UGC creators. When we find UGC creators that are doing really well off Twitter or joint brands, whatever it may be, be. We just pay them a monthly retainer to post videos on their page, the page that they created. The simpler this is, the better. A lot of people overcomplicate it by giving their organic creators scripts or giving the UGC creators scripts to post organically. I don't recommend that because organic is all mentality. These creators are posting every single day. They need to know what's viral and what doesn't go viral. They need to be able to hone down on what's working and shy away from what isn't. Organic creators are all over the place, just like on Twitter. You can find them anywhere. The same thing with influencers. The same way I described to you guys earlier how to find influencers. Those are people that can make organic videos for your product. Just posting all over the place is key. Don't just think of organic marketing as just posting on your one brand page. Think of multiple pages posting your ad and your creatives. Now, another brand that did this really well is a good friend of mine, Oliver. He owned this brand called trytabs.com. It was like a sex chocolate. They did organic marketing really, really well. If you just look up tabs on TikTok, you'll see a bunch of pages posting about it. They owned all these pages and these were just organic creators posting about the product. Again, you can find organic creators all over the place. Same way you find UGC creators is the same way you find influencers. And now this is another part that is really important with scaling your marketing. So a lot of people overlook this aspect of scaling marketing, and that is seasonal sales. Yeah, to most people, this is not that important, but coming from someone, again, who's made over $35 million online with e-com, I can tell you this is important and it is a game changer. When something is working, and I'm going to keep this quick, guys. When something is working, add a seasonal sale to it and it'll work even better. I explain this in great depths in other videos because it's more applicable to like scaling an e-com brand, but it is really important with marketing. So it'd be criminal for me not to bring it up. When you have a seasonal sale that is actually true, meaning that you actually took your landing page, whatever it may, your price on your landing page, whatever it may be, 20 or 30% off, you actually discounted it that amount, created a separate landing page, and you have separate ads, which I'll explain how to do in a second, that drive traffic to that landing page in separate campaigns, it will do better. And it's simple, guys. All it is taking whatever is working, right? So taking the offer that's working, discounting it, having a separate LP, which means landing page, and then taking your top ads and changing the CTA, right? So instead of saying 20% off at the end or whatever it may be, the call to action, CTA at the end, just actually says 30% off, Halloween sale, whatever it may be, and launching them in separate campaigns. The issue is with seasonal sales, most people will just add it to their main landing page. They add it to the main creatives and just hope it works. They have a site-wide seasonal sale, where that is not what you want to do. Instead, you want to do it separately from what's already working to add gasoline to the fire, to add fuel to the fire, to really push your stuff forward. I can't count the amount of times where I've been, let's say at like 5 to 7K a day with a specific e-com store. And then we take everything that's working, we put a seasonal sale to it, we launch it in separate campaigns. The CPA and ROAS on those campaigns are absolutely crushing it. And we then scale up to, let's say 20 to 25K a day because it's just doing so well. We can keep spending more, keep making more back. Let's say when the sale dies out, we end up plateauing now at, let's say 15K a day because we overall increase our momentum. This might seem complicated to most people, but in reality, it is not that hard. As long as you're doing true sales, meaning you're actually pricing it 20 to 30% less than what you normally sell it at, and do it separately, so it's not on top of what you're already running, it will work. If you guys just implement half of some of the stuff I've talked about today, I promise you'll be ahead of 99% of dropshippers and e-com brand owners. But I need to be brutally honest with you guys. Knowledge alone really isn't enough. The difference between people who take this information and actually build multi-million-dollar businesses from it is just a couple of things. Firstly, it's implementation. Let's be honest, information without action is completely worthless. The fastest way to fail is just watching a masterclass like this, don't do anything after it, and just waste time again. The second one is speed. The e-commerce landscape is changing so fast. This is coming from somebody who's in it every single day. The window for marketing certain products can close so quickly, it's not even funny, guys. The entrepreneurs that execute quickly have such an enormous advantage over everybody else. The third one, to be honest with you guys, is just guidance. Even with the knowledge I shared with you guys today, there will be obstacles, and I'll be lying if I said it's going to be a smooth road. You're going to have challenges and situations that are unique to you that can't just be solved in one video. Having someone there to hold your hand throughout the process can literally be the difference between you getting to where you want to be quickly versus upwards of years to even reach your goal. And that's exactly why we created Brandify, our complete done with you system on actually making money with this business model, making money with dropshipping. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's not the tools we give you, the content library, the coaches, the one-to-one coaching. It's not any of that. It's the community that's behind it. Yes, we give you the exact product research methods that we use. Yes, I show you all my active brands that are doing over 100K a day. And yes, you heard that right, 100K a day. Yes, we give you all the done for you ad templates and all the stuff I talked about earlier in the masterclass. Masterclass. Yes, landing page framework, CRO guidance and all that. Obviously, weekly coaching calls, one-to-one support, all the stuff you would expect from a paid community. But most importantly, you have other killers in there. Guys, we've been running Brandify for a couple months now. We already have people doing 30K a day. We have Lauren over here doing over 50K a day. We have Malin that's doing 30K days. We have guys doing 10K a day. Like, people are crushing it in here. And the community that we've built is honestly just killers. We actually made a video with Melinda. I'll put it right here too. He used to be a day school teacher. Now he's doing over 30K a day, which to me is so crazy. And not to brag, but we have one of the best guarantees in the world. Literally, if you guys don't make your money back, 3x your money in 90 days, we will give you your money back. So if you're serious about actually building a real brand and doing dropshipping the right way, click the link below to see if you qualify. You can schedule a call with me and my team, and let's see if we can help you out. Because guys, I want to create killers in Brandify. I don't think you realize, but the people that we have in this community are people that I'm becoming friends with, businesses I can invest in. And honestly, it's an opportunity for us to bring people that actually are serious about this game together. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a long one, and I know this is going to help a lot of people. Like and comment if you want more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.